welcome to Season 23 of ECCB Connects. ECCB Connects is a production of the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank designed to share with you who we are, what we do, and how we serve you. On our first episode, we meet two interns assigned to the ECCB from the Caribbean Regional Technical Assistance Center as they share with us their time, their experience, and how they plan to transform the region. Stay connected with us. We'll share more with you after this message.
Celebrating ECCB at 40.
Did you know that the first Deputy Governor of the ECCB was Sir Errol Allen, National of St. Vincent and the Grenadines? Sir Errol served for 22 years, from 1983 to 2005. Now you know, celebrating ECCB at 40.
Stephanie, Gideon, welcome to ECCB Connects.
Hi. Thank you.
Now, both of you are interns from the Caribbean Regional Technical Assistance Center, CARTAC, who've been assigned to the ECCB. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi, so my name is Stephanie Pascal. I am from the Commonwealth of Dominica. I'm currently doing my master's at the University of the West Indies Cayville campus in Barbados, a master's in financial and business economics. And so this internship, it was very interesting because it really provided us that work experience and kind of allow us to put the theoretical teachings into practice. So it was quite an enjoyable experience thus far.
Gideon?
I am Gideon George, and I am from the land of 100,000 jobs, Grenada. I am a final year student in the Masters of Science for Financial and Business Economics at the Cayville campus for UWI. Economics, I love economics. I've loved economics since I've been in school, in secondary school actually. So it's really nice to see how we get to marry the theoretical that we learn in the classroom with the practical aspects of it that we engaged in when we came at the bank.
Great, great. So both of you are focusing on the same area. Now let's talk about coming here to the ECCB. What were your expectations? What did you feel when you heard that you'd been accepted, you'd have the opportunity to spend the summer here at the ECCB?
I came in here a blank slate actually, because I think that what I noticed about myself when I was doing my exams last semester, I was trying to figure out, okay, I love economics, that's no question, but which aspects of economics am I going to focus on? So when my lecturer encouraged me to apply for this internship, I came here with zero expectations. I just came here to learn, to absorb everything that I could possibly take in to see where I could get that guidance as to where I'm going to go. And I got the chance to see how we are impacting the region and how that even though we're behind the office, not really seen as much as perhaps other professions, that we are doing things that are critical and really important to the development and the furtherance of the region.
My experience is slightly different from Gideon's. I actually applied for an internship here last year, and I was not successful. I don't believe the internship program actually took place. And so when I got the news that I would be coming here, I was very excited because ECCB has been on my radar. I feel for anybody studying economics within the ECCU, ECCB is definitely an institution that you want to end up at, obviously because of its contributions into the wider socioeconomic sphere in the region. So I've always wanted to come here. I've always wanted to come St. Kitts as well. From first year, I had a lot of Kittitian friends, Kittitians and Nivisian friends. So I definitely wanted to come here. So it has been an incredible experience. And even in terms of something that really surprised me in coming here is how similar it is to UWI. So I will always say that, this is probably the fifth or fourth or sixth campus, UWI campus.
Interesting.
And even how, we call here the ECCB campus as well. But just the melting pots of all the different cultures and how everybody is really similar to you. Everybody's an ambassador for their country. And, I tried Guinea's Tanya log and all these things. So it has been a thrilling experience thus far.
Nice. It's been familiar, easy to settle into.
It has been.
Definitely,
It has
definitely.
been.
It's similar to you in that you have little arguments about the different islands. You talk about the similarities of the culture. I mean, I got to try Johnny Bakes, and like I really enjoyed the tasty breakfast that this staff
That has been doing
Yes,
thus far.
yes.
It has been really good, and I'm a foodie. I love trying.
So that's right up your alley.
Right up my alley.
Nice. Now let's shift talk about your work here at the ECCB. I know both of you will be focusing or assigned to specific departments, and then you have a particular area of focus that you'd be targeting for the last couple of weeks. Tell us a little about that. I'll start with Gideon.
Okay, so I was sent to the Financial Stability Unit to look at the practical elements of economics, mostly focusing on how we can keep our economy stable so we don't have a repeat of things like what happened in the 2007 to 2009 financial crisis. So I started off with the orientation. We got to see how the different units in the bank operated. Then I really delved into the work. My first thing was to do a banking stability index. I had to develop one for every single country in the ECCU. Then I looked at a aggregate financial stability index with the inclusion now of credit union data. There was one before with commercial banking data, but it was recommended by an IMF consultant that we include credit union data in the index. And so I had to see how we can incorporate the credit union data without reducing the quality of the information that the index produces. I also assisted my supervisor, Chanel and Waverly, with the development of the Financial Stability Report, which is soon to be published and released and so forth. And we're still working on the final, drafts of everything. And I did a literature review on the credit risk models, developing credit risk models for the region. As we know, that's important to ensure that, we don't lend wantonly, but we lend based on science, based on the facts, so that, we don't wound up into any financial problems.
Correct. So you've really gotten a chance to dig your hands into it and really, as you say, get to demonstrate that theory that you've gotten and put it into the practical.
Yeah.
Great.
It was really interesting because, again, I came in here a blank slate. I don't really have like a particular area that I'm so passionate about. But what I noticed when I came in is that a lot of the stuff that we did in a particular course called financial economics, you're really seeing it coming out in the financial stability unit. So it was like, oh yeah, like I did this. Yeah, and it was really interesting to see how some of the things clicked and then how far you went beyond the theory into the practical elements of it. And so I think that was really an excellent experience for me, an opportunity to grow as a student. And now that I have this knowledge, this is something that would never depart from me. It's going to always be here, right here.
Nice. Stephanie, what have you been focusing on?
Okay, so I've been attached to the monetary and analytics unit. So I'm stationed in phase 2. As we know, the research and statistics department, they recently merged, I think about a year or two ago. And so my job really and truly really entails validating the data that will be used by the financial sector units as well as the economics unit as well. And so it was a lot of collaboration in terms of how pivotal every single aspect of the bank kind of comes together to make one nice melting pot, basically. So my job really and truly entails ensuring that the information submitted to us by the various commercial banks within the ECCU to ensure that it's correct. Because we definitely don't want to, we have to use this data to conduct research, we have to use this data to conduct policy. And so it's very instrumental that the information we receive is correct, so that when we move forward and then we instruct and form all these different things, that it's actually, it's pertinent.
Yes.
It's pertinent. So my job really and truly entails verifying that data, discovering the different trends. If there's any anomalies, then we would have to go about contacting the different institutions to ensure that it is correct. So that is really the bulk of my work as well. Also with my supervisor, Alistair Hodge, we have been working on research unfortunately, it will not be complete by the time that I conclude this internship. But one of the things that we agreed on, we're both committed to working on it post-internship. And so I will continue to work on it. The research is in relation to the determinants of the profitability of the different banks in the ECCU. And so it's very interesting. It's a topic that it's well researched throughout the world, but it has never been done from the Caribbean's perspective. And so it is very, very interesting dealing with it. And I think throughout this internship, one of the key things for me that would have significantly improved is my use of Excel, and just learning how Microsoft Excel is such a powerful tool that the average person doesn't even begin.
Gideon agrees.
Yeah, I do, and coming from the perspective where in UE I was the treasurer of several clubs and associations, so I've been dabbling in Excel for a while. To come here and see how Excel can go beyond those expectations.
We haven't even been scratching the surface into how dynamic and how powerful of a tool Excel is. And it has actually inspired me to do a few certification courses in Excel, just to learn as much as I can, because I did my bachelor's was in economics and math. And so I do have that mathematical background. So right now I'm kind of pivoting into the world of data analytics. So it's which
is a big area for us at ECCB, yes, and generally in the world.
It's a big area, and it's just so important because data is really what drives the world.
Correct.
The collection, the cleaning, the preparation of that data, and really using that data to inform our decisions and to ensure that whatever actions that we take is well backed by the strong rationale and strong reasoning behind it. And so it was very interesting, and even for me too, I kind of like the fact that I use that math background to some degree, because mathematics is something like you major in it and everyone is like,
what do you do with it? What do you do with math? Yes.
So it's like, no, I'm actually using those 3 long laborious years of work.
and the dots are all
aligned, and even too, you see how both the field of economics and math, how it merged so perfectly together. So it was a really beautiful experience this past few weeks, and it was an incredible opportunity for me, definitely.
Now, you said from all accounts so far, you've had an excellent time. Let's talk about the interactions you've had at the bank. Who have you met? The colleagues you've now forged new relationships with. Talk to us about that.
Well, I think most notable for me is Alistair. Okay. Alistair.
He's a character boy.
Alistair always has some sort of life lesson to give to me that he wish he had at my age. So I really and truly appreciated those conversations. Martina, she pulled us into the sessions that she was coordinating with the junior economists, so that we also got to see what the country economists do throughout their routines, their daily work, some of the reports that they prepare. But I think that just generally every single person that we interacted with had some sort of knowledge to share. I was able to have conversations with Leon about some of the things that happen in Grenada that I didn't even know about. Like I've never heard about rabbit meat in oil down. Like you learn something. You learn
outside
something.
Outside of the academics and outside of the work, yes.
Yeah, and you notice particularly in the research department, they have riveting conversations about things that are happening in the world, and they would tend to urge you to think outside of the plate of oil. Don't just box yourself in.
I like that analogy, outside of the plate of oil.
Adding that to my list.
Stephanie, what about you?
I'm very similar. Alistair is my supervisor, so even in dealing with him from a social perspective, him being so, I would say radical to some degree, but even in terms of having him as a supervisor as well, he's so brilliant. And what I like most about Alistair is his ability to kind of break it down to my level, because obviously I'm not on your level of experience as yet. So his ability to to break it down and to translate it to me in a way that I would understand, I think that is really a true sign of intelligence, because there's a lot of intelligent people who don't know how to transform the information like that, and so that to me is a very, very big one. I've also met a lot of incredible people in, over in phase 2 in the stats department. Sam is a great help to me. Any problem I have with my Excel sheet, Sam, this is not working, can you please help me out? And he'll always come through. Siobhan as well, incredible help. And Siobhan is really the one, she's one of the key people in the staff association, so she's the one that really does navigate a lot of the different activities we do. And she always encouraged me to participate. Okay, wind on Wednesdays today, you have to come and you have to help. And all these things that we don't really have, you can't really tell Siobhan no. You honestly cannot tell Siobhan no. It's like, okay, Steph, you're having breakfast today. On the menu, we have the boy, we have saltfish.
And automatically, you're having it.
Yeah. Okay, how much is it? Just tell me how much it is, and we'll go from there. So, and even in terms of the different people at the gym as well, everyone is so friendly, everyone is so helpful. So, nice. Outside of the academic aspect of it, the people that we have met here, the network we have built, it really is incredible. And for me, I love meeting people from across the region. I love having that conversation in terms of learning about our different cultures. Yes, there are similarities, but it is so different and it is so distinct. And it really contributes to you being just a more well-rounded and holistic individual, even in terms of, becoming a true Caribbean citizen, not just a Dominican, a Grenadian, but a
Caribbean.
I think that's really important, because you would have callaloo soup from Dominica, callaloo soup from St. Vincent, and callaloo soup from Grenada.
All are different.
Different as to the process, what you put in.
Even different goat water. I didn't even know it had different goat water.
Yes. So quite a diverse mix, yes.
But I think that what I appreciate the most is that the ability of these individuals to see what you don't see in yourself. The Chanel would give me some work and he'd be like, no pressure. And I'm there like, can I really do this? But he knows that I can do it, even though I don't already know that I can do it. And they're really easy to talk to. You can ask Leon questions. I used to be shuffling over to Waverly's desk every 5 minutes. And in my mind, I'm like, she's probably tired of me right now. And I think that's really important. And some of the people at MIS, the Janelle in particular, are willing to show you the place, take you out, to explore St. Kitts so that you're not like home job.
I think the other big part to kind of add to what he said is it's very inspiring as well, considering the fact that a lot of these people, they had similar paths to us. So a lot of them went to K-ville as well, went to UE as well.
So you have that common background to pull.
Yes. And even too, we kind of discuss, Chanel and Alyssa like to tease us about how, we're rich, and it's like how they would have to stretch things and make ends meet.
Their UE experience was
completely different.
Times ago. Yes.
Actually telling us they could only eat meat once a week, and we're like, huh?
Like, come on, what are you talking about?
No, let's talk about, you said, Stephanie, that, you were looking forward to come to St. Kitts and Nevis. Gideon, I'm not sure if it's your first time here as well.
It's my first time.
Great. So tell us, what have you been doing outside of work and home in St. Kitts and Nevis? Where have you been? Stephanie.
Nevis. I've been to Nevis a few times, and I didn't know you could travel around an island in 25 minutes. That was very shocking for me. Because, Dominica, we're relatively large compared to the other English-speaking islands in the region. And, I live in Barbados, which is relatively small, but the 25 minutes driving around the island.
Nevis is short and sweet, that's what it is.
Short and sweet. Nevis nice. Nevis naturally is very accurate trademarks that the tourism board is using. So one of my favorite things as far as we went to the botanical gardens in Nevis, and it was such a beautiful beautiful place, so serene, so picturesque. So if anybody is coming to Nevis, I would definitely recommend.
Gideon, what about you?
For me, I did music festival. Everybody was like, you have to go to music fest. And I did a lot of beach explorations. I went to a lot of the beach because my cousin loves going to the beach on Sundays. So she'd bring me behind her to go to the beach and, enjoy the scenery, do snorkeling. And sometimes her husband would show me the different sea animals, bring them up close so we get a personal look at them. So I think that was really interesting. And we even went out on one of the boats to see what the sea looks like and so forth, and to participate in a challenge back home. It's called the Headways Challenge that I had to do.
What does that entail?
Basically running and jumping off the boat head first into the water.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's something that's taken...
You survived?
Yeah, I survived. It's something that's taken Grenada and St. Vincent, where it originated, by storm. So I had to do that. I went to Nevis to partake in the wet fete. Okay. I mean, it was a bittersweet moment. I lost my phone, but the memories remain. Because it was really nice.
So you've been working hard, but you've been playing hard, which is balance is important.
Life is a balance. Come on.
So that's good. Now let's look ahead. You're almost at the end of your internship here at the ECCB. What's next for Gideon and Stephanie? And how do you see your work impacting the region?
Well, for me, it's firstly finish school. I have to go back because I'm also on the Guild Council at Cavel, so I have to go back and serve my constituents, the people that put their faith in me. So I plan to do that. I plan to, improve myself in the way that I go about my academic journey, how I'm going to study. Some of the things that I learned here about work ethic, I'm going to apply that into my last year of school. And then after that, it's perhaps either a job or looking at the opportunities to further my studies, because at the end of the day, for me, it's always going to be about coming back to develop the region, to develop my home. And so everything that I try to do, I think about that end game, because my country nurtured me, this region nurtured me. And so it's important for me to come back and be the person that guides the younger generation in the future, because there was someone there for me. And a lot of the times I feel like sometimes we forget that, but we always have to come back to where we were planted. So I think that I want to marry the work that I've done in economics, perhaps with the field of operational research. It's similar to data analytics because you would use mathematical optimization to guide your decision making as you go about using data and machine learning and so forth. So I'm thinking that those two areas, when they come together, I think that they'd make a pretty good combo. And I think that that's something that we need, because we can apply it to deal with some of the issues that we're having right now with flights and air travel in the region, or the shifts in the hospitals. Operational research is such a dynamic area that you can apply it literally anywhere in any field, because it's just necessary and it makes good use of mathematics. So
Similar to Gideon, I have one more year left in my master's, so I will be going back to Barbados to complete that. In the meantime, simultaneously, I will also be working with the Barbados Growth Council. I actually started with them in May, but they were very gracious enough to allow me to come here and embark on this internship. So I will be returning to them in September. And basically what the council is about is that in the most recent budget, Prime Minister Motley, she would have announced that she wanted to implement all these different statutory bodies that will look in terms of ensuring Barbados' economic well-being. And one of them is the Barbados Growth Council. And what we are focused on really and truly is finding ways where we can ensure sustained economic growth for Barbados. And so a lot of the stuff that we do, is essentially identifying the shortcomings between the current industries and essentially the gaps between education and how we are facilitating the current industries. So if it's a case where we need to change the list of required degrees that Barbados government demands from its citizens, if it's a case where we need to develop future industries, so the different sectors in the economy that will kind of pivot the Barbadian economy to the next level. So that is kind of the work that we'll be doing, and I am a research assistant for the council. So it's very exciting meeting with all these incredible people, all this expertise. The chairman is actually Mr. Doddridge Miller, and he was the chairman of the entire surgical group for over 21 years. He actually just recently retired. So, you know, interacting with this caliber of people, and I just want to go there, put my best foot forward, learn as much as I can. And even in terms of that kind of work, if it's something that we can transform or similar models can be adopted within the ECCU and other parts of the Caribbean, I think that is really the way to go forward in terms of ensuring that we as a region, yes, obviously there are a lot of situations that affect us negatively in terms of our small size, in terms of our susceptibility to natural disasters, in terms of our limited resources. But if we find innovative ways to, okay, yes, this is our situation, but how are we going to overcome it, then, you know, that's really the way for us to move forward in the region. So I'm very excited about the work. I like the fact that it is dynamic. So it's not the typical 8 to 4, it's research, real research-based work. So it's more task-based more than anything. And so I'm looking forward to it. I'm very excited.
Stephanie, Gideon, I wish you all the very best and look forward to seeing how you move and change the Eastern Caribbean. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having us. Thank you.
Celebrating ECCB at 40.
Did you know that the ECCB has sponsored the OECS ECCB Under-23 Netball Tournament since 1991? In 2019, it was revamped and is now called the OECS ECCB International Netball Series. Now you know, celebrating ECCB at 40.
That's it for this week's episode of ECCB Connects. Thanks so much for watching, and be sure to join us next week when we bring you another program to share with you who we are, what we do, and how we serve you.